I would say my impression within let's see if I could rattle off what I think are probably
Yeah, I
the,
want to know.
the use cases. First and foremost would be large spaces and have the or I should say large open spaces. We're not talking about going into a furniture store that's fully furnished and it's super easy to scan with a Pro 2 camera. We're talking about large empty spaces that are for sale or for lease. And
Like empty supermarket.
Empty supermarket, full supermarket, large spaces. With a Matterport Pro3 camera, you could have the confidence of actually being able to quote on the, as you said, quote on the project and be able to deliver it and not have the angst that, oh gosh, my Matterport Pro2 camera is going to have so many scanning errors and I have to scan so close together to accomplish it. So large spaces in a fraction of the time, let's call it half the time. Large spaces, being able to do large atriums in commercial spaces. So now you can, whether it's a gymnasium or the atrium or anything with a high ceiling to capture that space, high ceilings. Outdoors, I would say even though we spend a lot of time debating these elevations, I think there is an opportunity to do outdoor elevations with a Matterport Pro3 camera. There's an opportunity certainly to do as-builts that are necessary to begin projects.
Right.
And those as-builts include the outdoors. And it's not marketing video, it's just being a marketing tour. It's being able to capture that moment in time for an architect to be able to reimagine a space, and outdoor is part of that reimagination process. We haven't really spent a lot of time on spatial data, but truly in my mind, Emily, I kind of look at the world in quadrants, and I think about Matterport being in this quadrant of spatial data. Capturing of spatial data is really important because a Matterport service provider will be able to make more money when spatial and data is involved in the capture process. So in that opposite quadrant, however we do that, I would say, making a virtual tour of residential real estate, spatial data, not so important. Can't get as much money.
They don't care. Yeah, they don't need it. They like it because they can get floor plans, but they don't need the spatial data. We've discussed it on prior talks when I've been on the Live at 5 before, and just sort of saying that I feel like it's actually overkill for some of these properties.
Yeah, in fact, I would encourage our viewers to go to the We Get Around Network forum, type in Emily Olman and search for everything in the We Get Around Network forum, and you'll find a whole discussion on this topic I think part of what we concluded was there's about 180 3D 360 virtual tour platforms that We Get Around Network tracks, and within 10 years those solutions, in my mind, will beat out Matterport in residential real estate, because when spatial data doesn't matter, you can capture those spaces way faster with other tools and still get floor plans.